Hello, and welcome to 16 Candlekeeps, the place where the 80s pass their death saves. My gods, what is this? You may be aware, if you're in the UK right now, that Avernus is upon us. So if we at any point start melting, it's nothing to do with the visual effects, but do put us in for a webby.
I would like to correct that to England, not the UK, because I have grey skies. Yeah, I've had nothing but rain for a week and a half.
Another reason that Scotland is superior. Anyway, speaking of Avernus, let's remind ourselves what are happening last episode and things, because you guys have been waiting a fortnight and we've been waiting a while to find out what's happening, so I want to jump in. But remember first, share us with your friends, share us with your family. Don't share us with your enemies because that's weird. But if you do want to ring the bell to remind yourself when we're coming up for new content, subscribe so you get all the information and all the updates of when things go. And also just, hit the like button because it makes us happy and dopamine and serotonin bursts. And it means more content. And if you want more content, we want more dopamine. Science. Right, so reminding of what happened last time as I tried to read through my stupid... I promised that I would start cosplaying bad guys. So this is Deadeye. Deadeye. Anyway.
Oh, I see. It's because you've got
God help me when we get to Avernus and I have to do full body paint and stuff.
Yes, yeah, right. We're expecting something great.
Anyway, so you guys have met together in the city of Baldur's Gate after the recent fall of Elturel. The survivors of Elturel have arrived at the gates of Baldur's Gate, and there is a general descent that has been starting to kind of spread throughout the lower city of Baldur's Gate. You have been hired by one Captain Zodge to look into a cult of the dead free, who have apparently been using the surplus of new citizens for their own nefarious means, which have also cultivated in multiple murders throughout the city. We had, for our audience, we had a bookish wizard, a Spartan barbarian, and a rambunctious sorcerer who agreed to take this job on and look into things by heading out to the Elfsong Tavern where they would meet a contact by the name of Tarina. In exchange for information, the spy requested aid in dealing with a pirate crew who had been looking for her. This was all going to plan until Deadeye and the crew actually appeared and drew blades, which led to the unfortunate falling of said spy. Where we left off was just at the end of battle, as we had the two ladies were both, I think if I remember rightly, we had Katherine was on the table, we had Cheryl was standing with her axe in the neck of Deadeye, who had gone really weirdly undead halfway through the fight, and then underneath the table was Winston Wyrd, who was using his advantage of secrecy to swipe from underneath, but also just as the body hit the floor, found a parchment had fallen out into the blood oozing out of the body of Deadeye. You know that all of the pirates who came in were dispatched, and two of them apparently were left outside to keep an eye on what happens outside. I will leave it for yourselves now. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a handkerchief out of an inside pocket and just gently pick up the parchment. I don't want to, I don't want to get blood on my hands. I don't know where he's been. I know where the blood has been. It's been in him. That's bad enough. So I just...
Lovely. So Winston, you, as you said, pull out a handkerchief, pull it, and as you lift it, you can see on one side there is nothing, apart from like a browning in the middle of the already fairly yellowed parchment. On the other side, however, there is nothing, but underneath the inky red of his blood, you can see a pitch black circle in the middle of this side of the parchment. As you have seen this, I will allow you to make, I think a history check would probably be the best thing.
Yeah, let's get that done. It's a 15.
15. Looking at this, you take a moment and like it doesn't make any sense to yourself of what you're actually seeing. And then you realise, hang on a minute, he is a pirate, and he came with intent towards Tarina. You recognise this to be an omen that is given out before death to enemies of pirates, or specifically pirateers themselves, as the Black Mark.
Lovely. I will share that with the class, and then I will just wrap it up in that handkerchief and just keep hold of that. Could come in useful.
Lovely. You have make a note in your inventory. You have the Black Mark. How ominous!
Can you just remind me how did Tarina die again? Was it very obviously death, or
Yes.
could there be a possibility of?
I apologise, but verbatim is not able at this moment. It's been a week or so since I edited the last episode, so I didn't actually make a note of that.
No.
But she was attacked multiple swings by the scimitar of Deadeye, and he cleaved into her multiple times before she dropped like a sack of spuds behind him. So it was fairly obvious that she dropped.
Not even with a healing word. Okay.
Cool. Well, I guess that we just start patting down Deadeye to see if he's got anything on him.
Yeah. Lovely.
Other than the Black Mark.
I'd say.
I read Tarina's book.
Tarina's book. Yeah, you can pick up Tarina's book. So I'm going to go because he's not actually got anything of like. You start to search him over and see it's very easy to find any pouches or anything on him. He has no hidden compartments on his outfit. You can see that he has there's paltry kind of coin. He's got about 10 gold, 5 silver on him. You also have the 2 remaining gold from what he threw to you when he said he would pay gold for the information of where Tarina is.
I'll take the money from that, and I will throw it over to the bartender and say, hopefully this will go some way to clearing Tarina's bill. She won't be able to finish the rest of her payments herself.
Oh, I can see that. That's thank you. It just gets back to kind of getting some brooms and stuff out to start sweeping up the mess that's happened. For Katherine, as you look into the book, you find that it's a simple novel. It's there's nothing of importance to it. It just looks like your typical kind of. I'm gonna go with pulling this out of nowhere. It's a story about. It's a story about a very broody drow, a very drunken dwarf, a human barbarian of royal descent, and a human ranger who is adopted by the dwarf, and they're currently having adventures in the north of Faerun. Anyone who knows
I was going to say, there's no panther there, right?
There's a spirit of a panther, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that happened 30 years before the last campaign we did, which is the Icewind Dale setup. If anyone has the time, please go and read. I finished book 2 recently of the Icewind Dale setup novels, and they're very good. Anyway. But yeah, looking in the book, that's all you find. It's essentially The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore, but not physically.
That's nice.
It's just a nice little, like, ooh, all the plugs of things. Lovely. So, what else would you guys like to do? You've currently got certain informations of what you can do around the city. You've also got the current scene in front of you here. I will remind, just because it's been a while, there was a thing that happened last time that also might be something of your interest. When you were dealing with the Barbarol, the bandits near the door had some issues with something coming from the visitors booth which had the Tabaxi, the Goliath, and the dwarf in, who were apparently there was some balls of energy that were thrown out of there, and there may have been some sort of magic that caused one of them to slam their dagger into their colleague's face. Just so you've got that.
Oh yeah,
That was going to be my next adventure.
That's cool.
I'd like to go over and ask what they know of Tarina and if they know anything about the recent stabbings.
Okay. So, as was said it's been a while for ourselves, apologies audience, this is where we get to remind our notes that might have been pertinent. The Tabaxi and the Goliath both said they were recently on holiday, as you were overhearing things. So they explain, in fact, let's play this out for fun. Role play! I'm going to be the Goliath for the obvious reasons that will become apparent shortly. We are in from up north. We are on holiday. We are Tabaxi man is showing me the area. Yes. Don't know anything about the mothers. Not sure what's going on here.
Right. Well, do you know anything that involves Tarina that she might have been able to pass on?
Unfortunately, no. She just read and was very quiet. Only met her once or twice. Very good card player.
And that's why you jumped to help defend her?
I didn't help her. He did, and he points at the Tabaxi, who's just sat very quietly, just flicking through some cards as if reading. He's got the playing cards in his hand. I do not know what is. I do not know Tarina. I just I had a moment of, well, there was going to be a bit of a bar brawl, and I thought it'd be funny to make them punch themselves in the face, and it kind of got a bit dark when he stabbed the other guy with the dagger. I did not mean to do it. Hi, sorry.
I have a problem with it. You actually helped us out, but no, it just seems a bit strange to do that for a stranger when you're not hoping to get something out of it.
That was, fun is fun,
Okay.
Is she living?
She's gonna then awkwardly shuffle away,
No.
going, no. No one can survive those kind of wounds.
I may be able to help with this if you want to speak with her, even though she is dead. I can do a spell which makes her speak, even though she is dead. I have and he clicks his fingers and there's little sparkles coming out of his claws. So I have the abilities to do things with magic. You would like me to?
Can't hurt to try.
I was gonna say, I would instantly look to the other two at this point, because for me, that sits weirdly. But
I say let's do it. I mean, we haven't had a chance to speak to Winston yet because everything kicked
You're
off.
welcome to have a chat about things. He will
Oh
be
no,
here.
I mean I'm all for it. It's absolutely fine by me. We need the information. Quite frankly, we upheld our side of the bargain, and unfortunately she didn't uphold hers. So I guess it seems the logical choice.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's talk to the dead woman.
Before we jump into this, I would like to set some parameters. I am going to make her body reanimate. She will be talking for kind of weird way, but she will, how do you say, for 10 minutes or so she will be able to answer questions, but we'll only be able to do 5 questions because, bodies are, after death, they're not so, responsive. But I'll be able to help make her do this. Try to make them fairly simple questions, because then it makes it easier. But also, if you need specifics, try to limit the tangents that the answer could go down, because then she cannot get a bit weird.
Okay, what the two? What questions should we ask her? We need simple questions. Obviously, Winston and Katherine.
This could be tricky.
So, um,
Did she tell you anything while you were upstairs with her? Did you get much conversation out of it?
she said that she had further information about the 3 murders, but that was it. So I guess that we can ask. Just as a side note, I hate myself for writing just the little comments that I was making along the way rather than the actual information given.
Oh no.
Like I have Deadeye, messy breakup, and good to know.
I deliberately wasn't writing notes because I wasn't there.
So, if I remember rightly, you
It's
were
fine.
told...
It's fine.
That's
It's
cool.
fine. I've got it. I'm pretty sure I know how to deal with the questions.
That's cool.
Isn't it good we've got an omniscient narrator who can remember what was going on and what was said? No idea.
I am some sort of god.
Yeah, I mean, we would
Narrator's
want to ask where the cult of the Dead 3 operate from. We would want to ask
Cult of the Dead 3 operate from.
and then I guess we want information on each of the murders.
Okay, so like literally tell us everything you know about first murder.
Yeah.
Third. Okay.
And then if we've got a 5th question, I mean, outside of the obvious, do you think it would have ever worked out between us?
Yeah. We can keep that as like a backup question if...
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, answers in 14.
So, any 5th one, or are we just holding that one just in case anything comes out of the other 4?
Let's hold the 5th one for now.
Yeah, let's hold the 5th.
Lovely. As the tabaxi walks over to the body and like props her up against the side of the booth and starts to do his
Grim.
I don't like that.
He pulls out some incense from a pouch and starts burning it and swaying it around the top of her forehead. He starts uttering some sort of like incantations that are specific to the spell. But a few seconds later, the corpse reanimates for all but like literally standing up. It's kind of more just an animatronic version of her is now sitting up more in the place that Tarina's dead body sits. And you ask your questions to save doing a weird like dead voice. Your question 1 was, where do they operate from? You are told that there is a bathhouse to the north of this tavern with nymphs that are carved into the gate at the entrance. That is where they are operating from.
Okay. Nymphs carved into the gate. Alright, what does she know about the first murder?
So, because each of them are similar answers, you get after the first and then the second one, to save repeating question. Each person was killed at random. However, each was killed as a sacrifice to one of the dead 3. So the first was to Merkel. The second was to Baal. And finally, the last one, as he quickly scrolls through was to Bane.
Bane?
Yes. So Merkel, the Lord of Bones, Baal, the God of Murder, and Bane, the God of Tyranny.
Do we get time to ask her if it would have worked out between her and Winston?
You have a 5th question.
I feel like we could probably do with using it for something
else?
a bit more serious. I mean,
Like,
Just like, yeah, I think you're right. As much as I want to know, I feel like we should use that question for something else.
yes. I mean, obviously, we all know what the answer would be anyway. It's absolutely fine.
Hey,
We can
do
carry
you
on.
know in your heart what the answer would be? Do you feel the answer deep inside?
Oh, absolutely. I believe it was made very perfectly clear in our first meeting. You could not fake those emotions.
it was a total eclipse of the heart.
Yes. We'll leave it purposely vague because it could go either way.
So, 5th question.
Who else? Who knows that you had this information?
She says, to the best of her knowledge, nobody else knew.
Perfect. And that way it will remain.
Lovely. And as you say it that way, Maine, she kind of looks like she's holding her breath, and then the entire body kind of decompresses as the spell drops. And Tabaxi kind of steps back and goes, "Well, that was a little weird, but haven't done that one in a while. Body, no more questions. Thank you for coming to our TED talk, or our dead talk." Yes, welcome. Kodar loves these sort of jokes. This is great.
I think the podcast should end here.
Steve, it's been terrific, but off you go.
Let's go out on a high.
Yes, I apologise. I cannot be more of a sister. Does anyone need any healing? Did anyone get hurt? By the way, I am able to do. I am not a necromancer. I am a what is the word? Healy. I do healy stuff.
Right.
Does anyone need healing?
No, I'm fine.
Fine. No, that's good.
Thank you for the offer, though.
That is fine. I'm going to go back and play more cards with the guys. Thank you for the time, though. Bye now. He just kind of saunters off.
Bye.
You know, I think that person was somewhat odd.
Just a tad, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Characters have character.
Takes one to know one.
They do.
But yes. So lovely. You have that information there. You are welcome to do as and what you please. It is currently about midday of actually can't remember what date we actually said. Have I thrown that away? Oh god. But you're midday at the moment.
Who's the morgue?
Yes, I would quite like to
See some dead
look at the
people.
damage.
Lovely. You were told that the morgue was to the north of here as well, in the near the wall of the upper city and the lower city, near the gate. Lovely. You guys can head out.
We might pass this bathhouse on the way.
And indeed you do. I will say that. Let me just pull up my map for this, so I'll make sure I'm giving you the exact information. Too many pieces of paper for this goddamn campaign. I miss improvising everything. Never did that. Don't know what you're on about.
You mean meticulously planning every single element?
I always have a
And
notepad.
then not using a single bit.
I always have
Every
a notepad that
possible
says
thing we might
"sexy
say or
goblin."
do.
That's it.
That's gives
Did
you
we
a lot
ever
of
have a
inspiration for
sexy
lots of things.
goblin?
Not yet. I'll fix that now.
That's going into the bathhouse.
I'm really hopeful for this sexy goblin to rock up.
Oh man, I miss being, I've been watching more and more DMs of late and realizing how low on the rungs I've placed myself. Anyway, so you guys are traveling. Traveling you are. You came in from the east of the town into the kind of main thoroughfare of the lower city, and then heading north up towards the gates. You would find yourself passing the bathhouse. It is a fairly splendorous affair as you walk past. It has a walled garden area with a building in the centre of the garden. As described, there is a kind of like a gate of a wooden gate that's in the main entrance into the garden area itself that has carvings of this kind of luxurious Feywild scene with nymphs reaching up to the handles of the gate where you would then open it. Let me just see something else you would see. You would see there are fountains at points around the garden itself, and as you may just in passing might have that thought, you can see no other points of egress to the building as it is in the centre of the garden. But yes, travelling on, unless you would like to do anything with that information there, we will head to the Heap Gate, I believe it was.
Yeah, let's.
All the same, by the way.
Sorry?
The fountains all the same. The decoration on the fountain.
Yeah, they're all just very opulent, marble carved, very nice looking, and weird in the lower city, but also it looks quite nice. As described previously, the lower city is kind of the more working class areas. By no means the squalor, but there is kind of an element of it being the poorer side of the city. And then you can see on the other side of the wall as you get closer and closer to the centre of the town, you can see a wall that gates off the community that would be the upper city that are much more opulently looking carved buildings. They are kind of like red stones and marble and all those kind of typical kind of like, I'd say more Venetian looking buildings in comparison to the more like wooden buildings you see around the lower city. However, we'll close that because it's not needed now. You get to the Heap Gate. Just next to the Heap Gate, you see a small building, grey stone, has local morgue written on the plaque outside. As you step in, there is an interesting change. It's not too warm outside, but there's definitely a drop in temperature as you come into an area where there's an open plan floor with the far wall appears to be just like the typical look of body storage. There are loads of like little compartments that have wooden doors, and you can see like reams of ice that have fallen to the ground from opening and closing them. There are 3 pillared, like half pillars in the middle of the room that have been carved halfway down to make slabs of block to lie bodies on. And because we are here, it is now time for the inaugural releasing of that NPC. Standing in the middle of the room, you see a small figure in a white lab coat, holding a clipboard and scratching over it with a quill. They are blue-skinned, light blue, with tufts of white hair coming just out of their temples, and a tuft of white hair at the top, looking like a crazed scientist. Light blue skin, about half the height of the actual block that the body would be sat on next to, but there are no bodies currently out. He turns around and will greet you all with, "Hello, welcome to the mortuary. My name is Dr. Buffalo. How may I be of assistance today?" It's fair use. He was in Out the Abyss. I'm allowed to keep him.
Why didn't I see that coming?
I didn't.
Come
I was
on.
like, of all the characters, why is it this one?
It's always this one. It's always this one.
He's my favourite NPC, goddammit.
I love him. I just
yeah.
wasn't expecting him to turn up. Oh god, is he?
No, I thought we were getting a Back to the Future reference then.
Oh,
Got
I thought we were
Boopido
getting
instead.
something completely different, but
I can commit both in a moment, don't worry.
just to ask you then, Steve, because we've all experienced Puppedo in the games.
Yes.
You us if he's the same of character.
Well,
or is this like a different parallel universe version of Bupado?
Well, this is the question of metagaming.
No, obviously other characters we've never met the guy.
You've never met him. You have no. This is just a weird blue character who has appeared and apparently is Dr. Bupado, who looks after the mortuary.
Of course he does. Oh, Doctor. We're here to see some bodies.
This is good because I have
I'd
multiple.
like to see some dead people, please.
Oh, you've come to the right place. I have a couple behind. Excuse me. Do we have to do? We have multiple doors, and I don't know if you're meant to do like a quiz before getting them. Like, do you know
Probably
what?
not, no.
My first is in P, but not in spoon. And then I have 3 doors. There are 3 doors, and behind one is a goat, and another is a new car. Anyway, what body?
You just
It could go.
Sorry, as I go crazy. So you want to see new bodies or dead bodies? Any dead body in particular that you're looking to see? We have multiple.
Any of the victims from the murders that
okay.
are tied to.
That's good because I don't want to have to, put out just people's random family members or something and get really awkward.
No.
Anyway, and he walks over.
Kind of still will be.
Well, potato, tomato. And he starts opening 3 of them up and pulling out these kind of like racks in the typical kind of like mortuary fashion, but it's a bit more downgraded from your typical kind of clinical metals and trays that are fitted in. It's more like pulling out a gurney or a stretcher that the wheels pull out of underneath and allow the body to be shown. He pulls out 3 random looking bodies, one of which has a black right hand burnt into the chest, male looking, very nondescript, blonde hair, fairly short, clean shaven, human. Second body looks to be an elven female, looks to have visibly with the covering of her body there is no signs of the point of entry if there was a way that this body was stabbed or anything like that. And then the third one that is pulled out is another human female. She has brown hair pulled back in a ponytail that's been left in. Her hair is caked in blood at the back, and you get the idea that she was hit with blunt force trauma to the back of the head. 3 bodies.
Wonderful.
I am happy to give you any information on any of these, but obviously I'm not allowed to sell any of them. None of the pieces are for sale.
I don't expect you to.
That's good.
We're here investigating it, not...
You don't want to take it home.
Oh, that's okay. It's just some people, they come in, they're needing an arm, they're needing a leg, they're needing, like a skull. Sometimes you have to, and,
Anyone done that recently?
No, not recently.
Okay.
Gotta pay the bills.
No, yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
Not all doom and gloom.
So I will cast Detect Magic over them.
Yep, lovely. Remind me what Detect Magic does, please, and thank you.
So, for the duration, which is up to 10 minutes, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. And you learn its school of magic, if any.
Okay, lovely. So, casting it near these bodies, you start to look over. There is no sign of magic on the 2 females. There is a faint trace of evocation magic around the burnt hand on the chest of the male body.
Okay, so evocation. Making some notes. Looking up stuff.
For those
Gonna
who are listening.
assume it's burning hands.
Yeah. It's going to be along that line. For those that aren't aware of the schools of magic, evocation is your damaging magic, your kind of sword and shield of the magic world. The more you know.
That was one of Bane's ones.
Yes, you would know that Bane, his mark is to leave a burnt right hand on his victims.
I don't remember what the other ones.
He was the third victim then.
Yes.
Yes. So Bar was the one, the symbol was a man with a skull head and sabres for hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Merkel was the figure with skeletal hands holding a screaming skull.
Yes. Not
For some reason, I know it says screaming skull and not flaming skull, but I still think of Nicolas Cage as New Blaze. I don't know why.
I mean, to be fair, that is still a screaming skull, though, isn't it?
Thank you. I'm not completely crazy, but I'm just picturing a skull that's grinning with
just
flames.
For legality, other Ghost Riders are available.
Other Ghost Riders, other Nicolas Cages are available.
They were in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything.
I mean, I guess, like, maybe attempting a medicine check around... this is weird, but just around the skulls, I guess.
Lovely.
My medicine score is really low, if anybody else is good.
Oh, mine's horrendous. I've got investigation, but it's clearly a medicine thing.
I was going to say, I've got investigations +3, so that's better. My medicine is just 0.
Whoever would like to make a medicine, they are welcome to.
I got a 12.
12? Lovely.
I'll do it. Let's just do it.
I'm now having really.
I sent you a message, Steve.
Oh, message. Sorry, let me double check this whilst you guys roll things.
Messages.
Thank you.
Messages.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Jokes.
Sorry, what was that medicine check for Cheryl?
12.
12, lovely. So between the two of you, you start to look. You notice that you go.
They do, in fact, have skulls.
Yes, they have skulls.
Yeah.
There's a moment where you're like, look, a clearly preserved human body.
Is the whole body there for all of them, or is there anything like obviously missing?
So I would ask, which body would you guys go to if you were to make a choice of which one you were checking? So you've got the elven female, the human female, and the male human.
So
I'm going for the one without the
hand.
Yeah.
Lovely. That would be.
So one of the two women.
Because I don't know. I was thinking one of them's gonna have bones missing.
That's cool. So which one would you be?
I don't know which one was killed for Merkel.
This is the magic of investigating something. Please tell me a body you would like to look over.
The human female.
Human female. Lovely. So you start to look over the human female, which I believe was the one that had blunt force trauma to the back of the head. You start to look over it. You can't see any signs of anything more than that blunt force trauma that would suggest foul play. There is no signs of anything cultish to it. It just looks like someone has whacked them with a blunt object. Uh-oh. Excuse me, my recording system just went a moment. Let's take that as a... yeah, you can see no sign of any foul play with the blunt force trauma to the back of the head, but there is sign of active damage that has been placed there. You can see the skull has fractured through the flesh, so it has been quite a hard hit that has taken it, and would be more of, if you were to look at that and try to imagine what did it, you would imagine it was a small pole shape that has been inserted in, rather than it being like a bar that is hit against it. That makes sense.
Oh God, okay.
but also through that you can see that the attack has been quite forceful to penetrate the skull itself and then have fragments coming out. With Winston, you start to look over the body. There's no signs of anything as you look over. It just looks like a very well-preserved body. As you start to check up towards the head and such, could you just do me a favour and make a wisdom saving throw?
Fuck. Yeah, sure. Do you know what? That ain't bad. That's a 22.
22. There's a moment.
Surely your wisdom's good.
There's a moment
Wisdom save there +3, and then 19 on the die.
Nice. Wisdom weird is fine. Yay! We're gonna make T-shirts with a joke. No. So you start to look over the body. You're checking over parts, and there is a moment where you're like, "Is that something? A freckle on her neck or something like that?" And then there's a moment where it looks like she breathes out, and you kind of like, "Huh?" And then you look as you kind of take a moment, step back from that. You can see Katherine just finishing the final move of minor illusion in the background. But you can't see anything on the body.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
I didn't kill the characters. Winston killed the characters.
Oh, come on. You gotta have fun around a dead body every now and then.
Oh. But lovely.
Oh, I said something that sounded weird, didn't I? I meant scare people with them. No, I'm gonna show you.
I say I've not seen any of this because I was just examining
Writing down your name in the book.
Going in the book.
He's using the black quill. He's using the black quill to write your name in the book.
That's the Raven Queen quill.
It's like Death Note all over again.
That's the Book of the Dead he's writing in.
There's an insert.
Oh, I was underlined with such force.
There's an interesting idea for a campaign later down the line. Death Note as a campaign.
No, you are not getting any ideas, Steve.
How'd you like them apples?
I just want apples. It's the worst Ryuk I can do, but it's what I've got. I love Ryuk. He's one of my favourite weird characters. Anyway, please, what would you like to do? Is there anything else you'd like to do with the bodies? Any questions you'd like to ask Dr. Buppado? Or are we finished in the mortuary?
So, Doctor... I'll let you carry on.
While he's talking to the doctor, I investigate the other body.
You can indeed, yeah. I'm going to say we'll use your continued medicine check there. Nothing of note is seen over the body other than the evocation magic that was used on the chest. You are aware, and this is a weird kind of like above table, under table thing, that the average person, if you were to put a weight on their like intensity their body can handle, would be around 1 HP. Apologies, there's no better way to do this. So the fact that there has been a attacking magic used against them, they never really stood a chance, regardless of how simple the magic was used. It is only when you start to suffuse yourself with magic, such as a sorcerer or a wizard, that your constitution and your strength of withstanding such things start to roll higher hit die and stuff like that. Table.
Mythical, like hypothetical hit die, if that's how you measured your health.
There is a reason that there are not. There's a reason why not everyone is an adventurer, for example, because you have to have a certain set of skills or a certain kind of like aptitude that allows you to withstand the lower levels of adventuring, which some commoners, as they are referred to on their stat block, cannot handle.
Okay, fab. Thank you.
But yeah, you can't find that. Anyway, back to Winston asking Dr. Buppado.
Dr. Buppado, where did you study?
There was a night school and in the basement of the elf song, and a couple of days later, they gave me a lab coat and this clipboard, and here I am studying bodies.
Fantastic. So you will have some more work lined up. We have got a whole host of fresh bodies for you to deal with, and I'm glad that you're already familiar with the Elf Song Tavern, because someone will probably want to go and collect them from there.
Bodies in the elf song. I'll
It's like 4 or 5.
If we're all done here, I'll go get the horse and the cart, and I'll go collect those. How many? 6, you say? 6. That's more than 3, right?
Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Bupido. That will be all.
Thank you. Bye for now. He walks you to the door as he starts to get his cart and from the side of the building and heads off towards the elf song. Lovely. Right. What would we like to do next?
If any evidence was hidden or destroyed, I wouldn't say that it was him that had done it on purpose, but there is every likelihood that he did destroy evidence accidentally.
Yeah, he doesn't seem the brightest, especially if he went to night school for a couple of nights.
Yeah, I now understand why Dad was so keen on the clerics doing all of that stuff for us, because, wow.
Yeah.
It's gone downhill!
I wouldn't trust that guy with a skinned knee, let alone...
I have
think of anything better
for you. Whilst I remember, because I was double checking this, it is, I believe, it's just after the 30th of Kythorn in terms of date. You're in 1494. That was what I was trying to remember earlier.
I got 1494, but I didn't write the rest of it down.
That's
cool. Yeah, I've got the year. I didn't have the date. 30th of what?
Actually, the 30th of Kythorn was when the city of Outerell fell, so it'd be 10 days after that. Let me just pull up my calendar for you. Oh, there he is. After Kythorn is... Kythorn is Flame Rule. So you're on the 10th of Flame Rule. Is where we are for a specific date. Because my gods. Calendars.
Flame Rule.
Flame Rule. Lovely. Right. So, please, you've had your information. It's coming up with the travel through the city and looking into these things. It was about mid-afternoon as you got to the Elf Song and dealt with everything there. So I'd say it's coming up to early evening, late afternoon now, about 5, 6 or so in the afternoon. Please, what would you like to do next?
Should we report to the captain before we rest?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I really want to tell him that kind of news on a full stomach of food.
Lovely.
Sorry, I'm hungry. I'm very hungry.
Lovely.
Tell him quickly.
You have also been told that you're able to use the guardhouses as resting places and places to get food as well. So, as you head back towards the guardhouse where you met him at the Basilisk Gate near the entrance to the city proper, you arrive. There is again the mess tables set out with a couple of office tables around the sides. He is sat on the far one in the entrance of the room itself. He rises and greets you as you come in. We can play out the conversation if you'd like, or if it's just a case of we repeat what we have had previously, we can skip this over for the sake of expediency.
Don't think we'd say anything.
I mean, I would make a point of telling him Tarina's dead. We went to see the bodies.
Yeah.
No news there. The guy's incompetent. And also Tarina's dead body said bathhouse with weird nymphs on the gate.
this is something that we should play out because this will be interesting. As you explain everything, and you get to that final piece of information about the bathhouse, he takes his face visibly has a reaction to it. Bathhouse with the nymph gate, as in the Vanthapur Villa bathhouse. Oh God, no.
Why? What is that?
We might need to tread carefully on this next bit. Are any of you from the city of Baldur's Gate? Well, we'll have one that know this already, but for the other two, please allow me to give you a bit of a politician's kind of speed course. We have a Grand Duke who looks after the city, Ulder Ravengard. He's also the head of the Flaming Fist, who I work under. But there are 3 other lords that will, or dukes that will govern the city to allow for fair commerce and also to keep it from falling into a dictatorship or anything like that. And they are known as the 4 lords of Baldur's Gate. One of those lords is the owner of said bathhouse. When I said earlier about if you look to enter the upper city and you are planning to upset the apple cart, if you will, this is what I meant. There is that we can't just go in guns a-blazing with this one. Thalamra, is... She's powerful, to say the least. A stricter person in terms of commerce and ruling I have never met. But also, she's not going to take any move against her lightly.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was her, but the news that we were given was that it's operating out of her bathhouse.
Mm.
So she might want to know that herself.
I would be very cautious in approaching the Lord Valenfor. She's very clever. And I would definitely suggest that if someone was using her bathhouse, she would have every knowledge of it happening.
Right.
But again, I can't do anything with that without proper proof.
Wonderful. Might I make a small suggestion?
Please.
If we are to go and investigate this, and he takes the signature and gives it back to the captain.
Lovely.
We should not risk you becoming entangled in this.
This is one of the many reasons we sent out for a scribe. Thank you very much for your intelligent input here. I will say this now. What you potentially will be going into will be no mean feat. If you would like to rescind your application to this investigation, please take this opening to do that, but I would request your assistance further into this, into investigating the bathhouse and whatever setup they have created within.
Sounds good to me. I'm all in.
We're going to have a spa day?
That kind of bathhouse? Bit fancy?
You're welcome to...
I mean, it did look fancy.
It looked fancy.
You are welcome to use the guardhouse to rest up and get yourself recuperated. Please, the kitchens are still open if you want to order yourself any food. And there will be stocks and supplies in the armory if you want to fill up on any bolts or spell components. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
You're doing my work for me. I could hardly be a cold shoulder.
Fair comment, actually.
Is there anything else? Oh, sorry. Is there anything else that you would chat with him, or any other plans you would like to do, or do you just rest up for the evening?
I'm happy to rest up and then go to the bathhouse tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I want to rest up because not at all for any meta reasons, but spell slots, unlocking level 2 abilities.
Yeah, not at all for any reasons.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Just like
No.
sleep is good, you know. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
With that in mind, at what time would you be heading out to the bathhouse? Would there be a specific morning, evening, afternoon sort of thing?
What time does it open?
You would imagine in the same way most businesses do. There is a daytime trading hours, and then they would close in the evening. Normally you'd find with this sort of city, it's around sunset that they would start to close up. And as it's the mid of summer, it'd be quite late in the evening if they were closing up shop with sunset.
Should we go under the guise of just people coming to use the bathhouse, or should we go in with the very clear instruction of who we are and why we're there?
Oh no, we're going in to use the bathhouse. We can't go in now saying that we are investigating anything.
Absolutely not. But we also don't want to treat her like she's stupid.
No.
As he said, that she's, an incredibly clever woman. We don't want to... Am I gonna have to change? I don't want to. Do I have to make myself look like one of them again?
Maybe not.
Ugh, yawn. Fine, I'll do it, but only for the mission.
Be brave.
So, as you guys start to settle down for the evening, you find yourselves a room in your own way in the guardhouse to hunker down, get some rest. We will pick up here next episode as you approach the bathhouse.
Jeez.
Hey, at the spa! Woo!
And everyone
So
now has
exciting.
access to level 2 stuff, and it's all exciting and health and wee, which I'm glad for because my gods, I look forward to this. For those that have...
Just level 2 stuff.
Sorry?
Did you just say you have access to level 2 stuff?
Yes, because essentially, for on the table sort of thing, until you have rested, you wouldn't get your hit points back to full health. You wouldn't be getting your spell slots until you've rested to recuperate them. That sort of knowledge.
Yes, with you.
Well, yes, we shall pick up here next episode. As always, thank you very much for watching and listening, however you join us. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we're going out. We go out every Wednesday morning if you want to be like first at the gate. Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. I'm not awake at that time, so I'm not expecting you to be.
Every other Wednesday.
It's been a while. Excuse me, as my brain. Every fortnight.
But you'll get a reminder every
Yeah.
Wednesday because we love you.
Yeah.
This is why you should ring the bell and get the notifications, because then you don't have to listen to me forget when it comes out. The system will tell you. Don't listen to my madness. Anyway.
You don't have to listen to us get it wrong.
Thank you very much for watching and
Technology
listening.
do it for you.
Please join us next time as we work out how the hell to deal with these this cultist group.
Going to
and
the spa.
all that want to say bye, say bye.
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 Bye.